Rohan Patel, Kanbumi. Hi, Nick. How are you?
Hello, good. How you doing?
Doing well, thank you. I'm a huge fan of yours, and I wanted to get when you presented with a role like this, Mr. Fish, and you're doing the voice acting, but you're also a very physical performer normally when we watch you in live action. So, what kind of challenges does it present to you when you're being asked to just use your voice to, you know, do this kind of role?
Well, the fun part of that is that I count on the talent of the illustrators and the animators. So I actually feel more free in the booth because I'm uninhibited by my body and by physics. So like I can voice things and express things imagining myself if I want to do three backflips or if I want to like blow up the size of a moon or anything. I can try and do these things only creating the effect with sound and with my voice. And then just hope it's fun because you sort of give cues to set up the animators to do something to like trigger their creativity. And so then it's really fun where you make all these noises, if you're like, if I'm trying to fit into a soup can to then see how they draw that based off the noises you've made. It's a wonderful form of collaboration.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's hard not to draw the parallels, but when you were when you were voicing the role and reading some of the dialogue, were you able to see any of like Ron Swanson or some of your other characters in this character who's also, notoriously like pouty for a lot of it, but has all this like underneath emotion?
You know, it's interesting. I pick my roles based on the writing that moves me, that inspires me. So if I get offered something, I even if it has big names attached to it, or if it's some character that I know, I still have to read the script. That's the only thing that's going to make me say yes, is that I think the writing is really good. And when that's the case, there's never been a time with any role uh, that I think of another previous role. With the only exception is like if Mr. Pout Fish was suddenly running a grill and like doing some barbecue, it's the only time is when characters are cooking meat on a grill. Then I say, okay, let's make sure that there are no nods to Ron Swanson with this specific action, which is funny. There was one sci-fi show that I did with Alex Garland where they had me when we meet my character, he's eating like a Danish or something, and I said, "Can I just eat a bunch of like arugula out of a container?" So that there's no question that this is anything like my previous carnivores. So I'll make little details like that just so that people aren't like, oh, he's eating a sausage just like Ron Swanson. But other than that, usually the writing protects me from having to worry about it.
Oh, gotcha. And then that show you mentioned is really that was an amazing show as well. And then
Oh, thank you.
when you read his journey, when you see him sort of come out of his shell throughout the movie, what's sort of the most rewarding aspect of this story that you found relatable to yourself?
I mean, I am a workaholic, and I love to depend on myself and like take too much on my shoulders. And I love the part of the message of this story that if you open yourself up to be vulnerable, to depend on your neighbors and like lean on the collaboration of others, of understanding that many hands make light work or two heads are better than one. And especially when it comes to like protecting your ecosystem or your neighborhood or your coral reef. It's so having the vulnerability to open up to others and say, okay, I'm going to trust the group to get this done right in a better way, much better way than I could do by myself, and see that come to fruition. That's my favorite part of this message.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Nick. I really appreciate it. I'm a huge fan. I love seeing you in Mission Impossible last year, so this is really cool to talk to you.
Thank you, Rohan. I appreciate it.